Do you really know Big Zhao? What kind of figure was he in history, and how did he seize the throne? The man in the game versus the real Zhao Kuangyin. Loyal, brave, cunning, benevolent, ambitious yet competent, he was also a prudent gambler. What are the connections between the imprisoned Murong Yangzhao, Li Yun, Shishou and Mr. Pu in the game? Where Winds Meet is set during the 5 Dynasties and 10 Kingdoms period in Chinese history. Back then, northern China was divided into 5 successive dynasties, while 10 independent states held sway over the south. It was Zhao Kuangyin, known as Big Zhao, who brought an end to this era of chaos and founded the Song dynasty. Born in 927 AD, Zhao was the son of a low-ranking military officer. As a young man, he traveled across the land and sought service under various warlords, but none recognized his talents. Later, guided by an eminent monk, he journeyed north to join forces with Guo Wei, the adoptive father of Chai Rong. At that time, however, Guo Wei's fortunes were also on the wane. After the Battle of Zhongju Bridge, the later Han dynasty was established. But its emperor distrusted Guo Wei deeply and had his entire family executed. In retaliation, Guo Wei raised an army to rebel. Zhao Kuangyin, who had just enlisted in the military as an ordinary soldier, followed Guo Wei loyally. Eventually, Guo Wei succeeded in overthrowing the later Han and establishing the later Zhou dynasty, and Zhao began to gradually rise through the ranks. With Guo Wei's entire bloodline wiped out, his adopted son Chai Rong became the rightful heir. In the game, Chai Rong is portrayed as the founder of the Hanging Sword organization, the superior of Tianying, and the man for whom Lucky 17 forged swords. Zhao Kuangyin was assigned to serve under Chai Rong. When Guo Wei passed away and Chai Rong ascended the throne, many questioned the legitimacy of his rule, dismissing him as a mere adopted son. Loyalty. Shortly after Chai Rong's accession, the Khitans launched a southern invasion. Determined to prove his worth, Chai Rong led his army north to defend the borders, sparking the decisive Battle of Gaoping. The troops under Chai Rong had little faith in their young ruler, whose claim to the throne was contested. Haunted by the humiliating defeat at the Battle of Zhongju Bridge, 1,000 elite soldiers even stripped off their armor and defected to the Khitan side. In this desperate moment, Chai Rong charged headlong into the enemy lines, but few dared to follow. It was Zhao Kuangyin, then only a regimental-level officer, who rallied his 1,000-strong unit to reinforce the emperor. Thanks to Zhao's support, Chai Rong defeated the Khitans, solidified his grip on the throne, and Zhao Kuangyin first came to his attention and was granted an extraordinary promotion. He was the loyal subject who risked his life to save his emperor in the Battle of Gaoping, yet also the ultimate usurper. Was Big Zhao in history a loyal servant or an ambitious schemer? Bravery. During the campaign to conquer the southern Tang dynasty, Zhao Kuangyin once again demonstrated his courage. Clad in full armor, he rode to the gates of the enemy camp with only a handful of attendants and taunted the southern Tang army. The enemy responded by showering him with arrows, turning his armor into a porcupine's quill. Fortunately, the thick armor protected him from serious injury. Pretending to flee, Zhao lured the pursuing southern Tang troops into an ambush he had set earlier. Most of the enemy forces were annihilated in the trap. This brilliant tactic of luring the enemy deep into one's territory was derived from the art of war, an ancient Chinese military treatise. Though seemingly simple, it required immense bravery and self-confidence to execute. This is the kind of bold move that makes you go, so that's why Game Big Zhao is so calm and confident. Cunning. Over the years, Zhao Kuangyin's military exploits earned him a promotion to the ranks of senior officers. Behind the scenes, he quietly built his own power base in the army, swearing brotherhood with 10 fellow generals. Among them was Shishou. By then, few generals outranked him, and Zhong Yongde was one of them. Zhong Yongde, the then commander-in-chief of the imperial bodyguard, was Zhao's equal in military merit and even a year younger. Yet beneath Zhao's outwardly benevolent demeanor lay a scheming mind. Colluding with his younger brother and Mr. Pu from the game, Zhao fabricated a wooden plaque inscribed with the prophecy the commander-in-chief will become emperor and secretly buried it in the ground. He then arranged for Chai Rong to discover the plaque during a military inspection. In ancient Chinese culture, prophecies like this were widely believed to be divine omens that foretold the rise and fall of dynasties. Rulers often took such signs extremely seriously for fear of defying heaven's will. Suspicious and alarmed by the prophecy, Chai Rong dismissed Zhong Yongde from his post and appointed Zhao Kuangyin as the new commander-in-chief of the imperial bodyguard. From that day on, Zhao held the reins of the imperial army firmly in his hands. Until his dying day, Chai Rong regarded Zhao Kuangyin as a loyal and trustworthy subject and took little action to guard against him. Zhao had indeed proven himself to be an obedient subordinate time and again. But Chai Rong had gravely underestimated the ambition of this prudent gambler. No swords drawn, no bloodshed, this is the kind of cunning that explains Game Big Zhao's every quiet move. Ambition. As soon as Chai Rong passed away, Zhao Kuangyin lost no time in promoting his sworn brothers to key positions in the military. His faction then spread a false rumor that the Khitans were once again invading the borders. The imperial court, unaware of the deception, ordered Zhao to lead the army north to repel the invaders, granting him full authority to mobilize troops. But when his army reached Chenqiao, a town near Kaifeng, Zhao launched a mutiny. He sent his men to assassinate Han Tong, another general who held military power in Kaifeng, thereby seizing control of the city's most elite troops. Chai Rong's 7-year-old son, the rightful heir to the throne, was forced to abdicate in Zhao's favor. One mutiny, one throne, this is the calculated gamble that reveals just how far Big Zhao would go for power. Benevolence. A ruler who seized power through cunning and ambition would surely face widespread opposition across the realm. Yet Zhao Kuangyin encountered surprisingly little resistance after ascending the throne, thanks to his popularity and benevolent character. Although he had used the forged plaque to oust Zhong Yongde from power, the two men maintained a cordial personal relationship. When Zhao seized the throne, Zhong Yongde chose to remain a neutral bystander throughout the process. Zhao Kuangyin also treated Chai Rong's descendants with great kindness. For over 300 years, the Song dynasty continued to bestow preferential treatment upon the Chai clan. Murong Yang Zhao, a general senior to Zhao in both age and military experience, was always respected by Zhao as an elder brother. Sparing rivals, honoring the past, this is why Game Big Zhao's kindness in the Tangcoin incident feels so genuine. In game lore. In Where Winds Meet, Zhao Kuangyin roams the land disguised as a commoner to observe the lives of his future subjects. At first sight of the protagonist, he recognizes that the swordsmanship they wield was created by Jiang Yang. This prompts him to repeatedly question the protagonist. Is your surname Jiang? Does any member of your family bear the surname Jiang? It is possible that Zhao crossed paths with Jiang Yang during his early military career, or perhaps the two had interacted within Chai Rong's hanging sword organization. In the game's Tangcoin incident, Zhao Kuangyin ultimately compromises with the people, ordering that copper coins and iron coins be exchanged at a 1-to-1 ratio. Historically, such a policy would have been impossible after all. In ancient China, the value of copper was roughly 10 times that of iron. A 1-to-1 exchange rate was clearly unrealistic. Nevertheless, this game mechanic aligns perfectly with the historical image of Zhao Kuangyin as a benevolent and compassionate ruler.